You might be wondering, why are we all laughing? Well, I can explain. So welcome to a first episode of our podcast.
First episode of
I Can Explain.
I Can Explain. This is podcast.
Yeah. We've been planning this for a while. We should probably start by introducing ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is your idea, so you go first.
Yeah. I'm Christopher. And I'm joined with Walker.
I'm Walker.
And I'm Sean. We have a fourth member of our podcast, but he actually couldn't make it to the first episode.
Yeah, because apparently he has a life and couldn't be here.
Yeah, so
weird,
he's
right? I didn't know people actually had lives.
Yeah, I thought
it
that
was like I thought it was imaginary, honestly.
So and that he's Johnny. So
His name's Johnny. He'll be on. Johnny. Hopefully, if we ever get around to doing a next one, because it took us 7 months to organize this first one.
7 months, maybe. I mean, you'll see us in another 7 months.
Yeah.
Or hear us, I guess.
So I guess we probably should explain how we actually got to this point.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all high school students, and we're about to be going into our senior year, and we all sit at the same lunch table at lunch, and we're all kind of nerds, and to put it in the nicest terms, I guess. I don't know if that's a nice term. I'm gonna use it anyway. Sorry.
I'm a nerd.
And pretty much like every day we'd sit down and we'd talk about whatever new was out, whether it was like a new movie, comic book, video game. And one day I was like, guys, we should have a podcast. And I think Sean was like, yeah, just set up a sound booth right here in the cafeteria. And we'll be fine. And I was like, I kind of meant like an actual podcast somewhere. And 7 months later, we're here.
Here we are. So, finally got around to doing it.
And we got off to a great start, too. Like, we've been talking down here for like an hour.
Yeah.
And
we actually just started
hitting record.
Anyway.
So pretty much, the title of this is I Can Explain for purposes that are actually pretty ironic. I at least very rarely actually know what I'm talking about. I can't really explain anything, which is why I think this will be great. Because we can't really explain much. But we're going to try.
We're going to try. We're going to just talk, and hopefully it's interesting.
Yeah. So,
what's first on our list is Deadpool. Or Gay Captain.
Gay Captain America. Gay Nazi.
No, let's start with Deadpool. And, it came back out in February.
Okay, but we might be talking about a lot of old news because we're recording this in July and we've been planning this podcast since like December.
Yeah.
So it's been
so we've got a lot of ground to cover.
But yeah, so Deadpool, I just saw it for the first time 3 days ago, and that's actually a really good movie. Mm-hmm. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it.
It was great. I loved it.
The best part was when I saw it was coming out, my first kind of concern was like, well, are they really going to be able to capture like his comedy and the fourth wall breaking in an effective way that still pairs with the fact that he is, a anti-hero, superhero? I don't really know.
Also, the last time Deadpool showed up in a movie was
Ryan Reynolds. Well, it was.
We don't talk about it.
Yeah, let's.
He didn't show up in a movie. What are you talking about?
I don't. Deadpool has never been in a movie.
But I thought they handled it actually really well. I thought the comedy it actually made me laugh like out loud several times, and I just thought it was a really, really well done movie, just like through and through. I
mean, I think that Ryan Reynolds really did a fantastic job.
Absolutely.
He was like one of the people who were like really pushed. Like he leaked the footage. He may or may not have been the one who leaked the footage online.
That's what
I love Ryan Reynolds.
Exactly, Ryan Reynolds as a person, like without being in character or anything, like just naturally is kind of a Deadpool character.
He already is.
If you ever go on his Twitter, his tweets are just hilarious. Like he has things about
a great man.
Yeah, like one of my most favorite tweets recently was I would walk through. It was something like I would walk through fire for my daughter, but not like actual fire because it's hot. And I was like, that is just a perfect thing that for someone to say. So but yeah, the movie I thought.
Deadpool was.
It was just really really good.
It's like. Well, it's like the kind of thing about Deadpool is like I went to see it twice actually, and I don't think it's as good the second time.
I can see that.
You watch it once and you're like, that was a good movie, but it's like the kind of movie you watch if it's on TV, but like you don't.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch Deadpool today.
You don't go to.
I got it on demand. My cousin was up, and we were going to pick out a movie. And my sister is like, hey, Daddy's Home, which is the movie with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. She's like, that's on demand. Like, have you guys seen it? And me and my cousin are like, no. And Alex is like, well, I have. It's really good. We're gonna watch it. And she buys it. And like, just like, yeah, there wasn't a lot of consensus there, but like, just a few beneath it, we could see the title Deadpool. So, like, as she clicks purchase, my cousin was like, oh, we should watch Deadpool. And I was like, oh, I haven't seen that. My cousin's like, I haven't either. And my sister goes, I haven't either. And we're like, oh, we all want to. And we're just like,
let's just watch
well,
that.
we just bought Daddy's Home. So we sat down and we watched Daddy's Home. We're like, hey, when this movie's over, we'll watch Deadpool. The movie finished. It was like almost 1 a.m. We were like, yeah, let's just go to bed. So then like they all left the next day. I'm like, I'm going to watch Deadpool. So I sat down by myself and I watched Deadpool and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a great movie. I liked it a lot.
What I liked is almost as much as the movie was like the YouTube ad for the Blu-ray and how it was like a fake drug commercial.
Yeah, I think that's what they did best. Honestly, was how they made it seem like that it was almost like a part of like the real world, like how much things they acknowledge, like even the joke about Professor X, and he said what one Stewart or McAvoy. These timelines are really like confusing. Like I thought that was really funny because they are a little bit confusing. Like having to explain them to someone who like is sitting down just watching a movie with me. I'm like, oh okay. So this happened, but it's actually in the past because this is happening right now, and they're just kind of like looking at me like, what? So I don't know. I thought they did it really well.
Yeah, it was a really just great movie all around. Very funny.
And also
a dull moment.
One thing I really liked was actually how it started out that he was already Deadpool.
It was like non-linear.
Yeah, exactly. I was kind of like, because when I saw it, I'm like, all right, so like they're gonna go through a ton of his origin story. And then finally get to when he's Deadpool, and then kind of pick up the plot from there. And that's what's done in almost every single first
like
movie
origin
for superhero
movie.
And you get tired of it. Like how many times for Spider-Man, for example, how many times have you seen Uncle Ben die?
Like that's something we can talk about later.
Oh
too,
yeah,
like,
we'll get back to Spider-Man.
Uncle Ben died. We could do a whole episode about Uncle Ben.
Yeah, so that's what I really liked was that it started off like, hey, here's Deadpool, here's this really funny, cool character. And then we'll kind of explain
how we got
in different portions how we got here.
Yeah.
And I just thought overall it was really well. And also how they almost made it a little bit like there was a plot to the movie and then there was a superhero plot to the movie. Like he was trying to get back with his almost wife.
Fiance.
Yeah, what was it? Vanessa, I think? Something like that. There was that plot of him as a human trying to like get back to this girl he loved, but then there was the plot of him as this masked like a
mutant,
whatever mercenary. He is mercenary. Thank you. Like doing his like quote unquote superhero stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought I really liked it.
Okay.
So that's kind of all I have to say about Deadpool.
I completely agree. I thought it was great. I thought it was really well done. They did a great job.
Yeah. I thought Francis. That was kind of funny.
Oh yeah.
What's my name? And Deadpool says, "I'll spell it out for you."
And
he kills it. He kills everyone and spells out Francis on the ground. I was like, that is just so perfect. That is just such a perfect like Deadpool moment right there.
That was good.
So then fast forward for 4 months because there was no other superhero movie that came out.
Wasn't. Was there anything like that?
There was, but we're not going to talk about it.
Talk about it. Cough, cough, Batman versus... What?
No,
I didn't hear anything.
Did you say something?
I don't think so.
I don't I probably get my hearing checked.
Yeah,
so
you might want to.
Captain America was in the news a lot in May.
Yeah,
because he had an awesome movie that came out.
Yeah,
yes.
Let's talk about the movie first.
And I'm playing with a pen.
Let's talk about the movie first. That was a really, really good movie. Like I
thought it was good. I liked it.
I mean, like, there were a lot of people that after they saw it, because I always read reviews before I see movies, which sometimes it backfired. Like, I had, like, 4 straight superhero movies just completely spoiled for me, and I was like, oh. So, like, this was the first movie that I was, like, really staying away from spoilers, but I was still reading reviews because I wanted to know, like, what people thought of it. And I saw a lot of, this is the best Marvel movie ever made, and then I saw a lot of, this is, it's a really good Marvel movie, top 5, but not number 1. And I kind of agree with that. The second one more. It was not my favorite.
One thing that Lyle McDouchebag brought up was the fact that the movie really didn't do it didn't even try to explain itself. Like
it just happened.
the movie was very much if you're not already in the Marvel Cinematic Universe like mindset of like knowing what's going on, then you will have no idea.
Yeah, that's kind of the one thing of like, well, it's like they've got what, like 15 movies
and
or something now?
To be fair, like
ridiculous,
when you have like that many characters, when you're like talking about the Avengers, there are so many different like characters and different storylines and plots that you can hit on and draw from. There that you really can't explain all of the characters in a single movie, so you really just...
That's why they have like dozens of other movies that you can watch just to...
So like that's one criticism that I've seen of the movie, and I think that's valid. It doesn't really try to... It didn't really try to attract people that weren't already in the fandom.
It's a sequel. It's not like
it is a sequel. So
and also along those lines, I think it was really kind of heavily banking on if you knew the comic book. Civil War.
To a point. I don't think so because it's like, well, they did a lot that different. It's like, it's Captain America fighting Iron Man, but like Spider-Man like switches sides. But in the movie, he was totally on. We should probably mention. Spoiler. We have a lot of spoilers. That's kind of just like a given.
It's been like what 4 months?
2 months?
I don't know.
2.
Also,
it's July, and the movie came out in May or April if you live.
It's been 2 months. My personal rule is like I'll give them like 2-3 weeks. Like, if you haven't seen it by then, deal with it. We're going to spoil the movie. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess...
yeah, just like, I guess, permanent spoiler warning
always,
on this podcast.
We'll always have a spoiler. Mm-hmm. Like, I guess if we're ever talking about something really, really new, we should make sure...
Yeah,
if
we're recording the podcast the day after... or something.
Then we'll put in a spoiler warning.
Just like permanent spoiler
for now,
we're catching up on a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, a lot of old stuff.
So as good as I thought the movie was, I had a decent amount of complaints. It's been a while, so I don't remember a lot of them. But one of them that's kind of stuck with me since is the use of Zemo as a character. I like when it was announced that Zemo was going to be a villain. I think everyone was like, "Oh, it's going to be Baron Zemo. Like, how are they going to do this? It's going to be kind of cool."
But he was just a guy.
Yeah, he was just a guy that wanted like these people to fight. And then almost killed himself. Like
it didn't seem realistic. Like, he was just like a normal guy, like in the military, and then his family died, so he wanted to like the super complicated revenge plot against the superheroes.
That's also a big criticism that I have with the like Avengers storyline as it stands right now is like how they're trying to put sanctions on the Avengers because they go and. Because people die when they try to save them, that seems really like stupid to me.
So you were definitely on Captain America's side.
Oh, absolutely, because it's like, I guess it's sort of like a utilitarian thing. Because like if
we only will like call for your help when we think we need you.
It's like, or they can they're superheroes. They can just save people and. Sometimes when you try to save people, other people die. It's not the superhero's fault. It's like that doesn't.
That would be like if right now the government were like, "Hey, we're gonna put a ban on all of the military," which I guess to a point like they kind of already are. Like they only use them when we need them. But like if you were to just say, "Hey, all cops, all military." You can only be activated. Like you can only do things.
You have to receive permission. You can't just get a call and go help them. You have to
You have to like file all this paperwork. You need to be all this stuff. Like,
a lot more
people would die that way.
It's like if you put like a leash on the superhero team. It's like once you have to rely on like a bigger power to allow the superheroes to go be superheroes. It's like what's even the point of the superheroes?
And another thing with the movie that I wasn't a big fan of was how they introduced like all these these other Winter Soldiers that were like supposed to be like holy cow, these guys like could like if you like the 6 of them team up like they can be anyone, and they show like the problem was introduced and then you see them briefly and they show up and every single one of them's dead and you're like, why did you bother introducing them? Like do something else. Don't introduce a plot line. Realize you don't have enough time to actually like do something with it, and then just cancel it out instantly. It was just pointless in my mind.
That said, overall, I thought the movie was good. I liked it.
Yeah. Although, I might anger some people because a lot of people were like, "Oh, that was such a good ending to that movie."
No, I didn't like the ending at all.
I did not like the ending at all.
It's like, oh, he just breaks him out of jail, and it's like, so like it seems like nothing happened.
Exactly.
At the end.
It's like at the end of the movie, the only thing that's happened is they're like, oh hey, Winter Soldier's actually, he's a good dude.
But then he gets in the post-credit scene, he gets...
Yeah, but then post-credit scene, he's except, yeah, he's a good dude, but he's now frozen in Wakanda, and even Roger says something they're going to come for him, and it's so he's really not even a good dude. They almost did nothing in that movie that actually is going to last.
Well, it's the government still registered them.
Yeah.
But so now the Captain America's Avengers are vigilantes and Iron Man's are the official government ones. Yeah. But they didn't make that very... They didn't set it up in a good way, I don't think.
And because reading, I have the comic book of Civil War, and then one of the post comics is the death of Captain America, in which Crossbones, who was in the movie,
and then he dies.
Yeah,
he's the one who starts this
exactly
the whole thing.
That's my other complaint is that so normally in the comics, the entire thing plays out. A ton of people, a ton of superheroes die. It's brutal, and then. At the end, Captain America, kind of in the same-ish way, turns himself in, and then later gets killed by the villain Crossbones, and it's a huge thing. And in this movie, it was another thing, and I'm a victim of this. When they said Crossbones in the movie, I'm like, oh, that's it. It's gonna be death of Captain America. I was super excited for it.
I was I thought he was either gonna die or go to jail, and then Bucky's gonna be the new Captain America.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's nothing. But
they've been hinting for so long that Bucky was gonna be the new Captain America. There are several scenes that you look at it. It's Bucky holding the shield, and you're like, oh, that's them hinting toward. And Marvel being Marvel, it was only logical to think that's them hinting that Bucky's gonna be Captain America. And then Crossbones in the movie, I go and I sit down, and he's in the opening scene. I'm like. Well, that's weird. And then I kind of remembered how the comic books start with this huge event that kills a ton of kids because it's by a school that this bomb goes off. So then I'm watching this and he has a bomb. I'm like, all right, so Crossbones he's the reason this all starts. They kill him immediately, and I was like, what a waste of a character. He should have been a prominent, he should have been the main villain. Have Zemo kill himself at the beginning because. All he ever wanted to do was kill himself. He almost did it anyway. He was a pointless villain. So put in the real one that actually has an effect on the plot line, and I would have liked it a lot better.
Well, it's I think it doesn't seem well, it's it kind of seems out of character almost. Captain America broke all the guys out of jail at the end.
Yeah, it's I don't know. There's a lot the movie did good, and there was a lot the movie did wrong. Because even after it ends, it was you're kind of left okay, so they're all out of prison. What are they gonna do now? They never gave a hint oh, they're gonna go do this, they're gonna go do that. Captain America is Bucky's retired, or I guess not retired. He's in
sleeping,
cryogenic, sleep. However you pronounce that word.
Freezy.
Freezy. Bye bye. I don't know. So, and Captain writes the note to Tony Stark at the end, and he breaks everyone out, and then you're just kind of all right, what's left? And there's really I think they did it on purpose because this allows Marvel to literally take the end of that movie and go quite literally anywhere they wanted to. Introduce any amount of new villains, introduce any amount of new heroes. They could literally go anywhere. But to a point, you kind of want it to end where you can say, okay, I know how this is going to lead into the next movie, what is the next movie? Does anyone?
I think it's Doctor Strange, but we're not getting any more of the we might see some in Spider-Man. We'll hear stuff about
that's true
the next summer, but we're not gonna. I don't know. Doctor Strange might talk about it too, because Marvel's movies usually are. I don't know though, because Doctor Strange is weird, because they mentioned him in another movie.
Yeah,
but the way Marvel makes their movies is that they usually happen in chronological order of when they come out. This movie is set in it's released in spring 2016, and that's when it chronologically happens.
Yeah. So I don't know. Overall, I do think it was a really good movie. I'd probably place it in my top 3 in my mind. The second Captain America, Winter Soldier, is still better to me. I really like that movie.
Oh yeah, Winter Soldier. I liked it a lot.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy is probably the best Marvel one.
Guardians of the Galaxy is 100%
100% Chris Pratt.
Yeah,
Chris Pratt. I have a huge man crush on Chris Pratt. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah. He is I share the same name as him, almost, kind of. So it's Christopher. I normally go by Chris, so it's we're meant to be. It's just I'm sorry, Chris Pratt. If you're listening, which I know you're not, just hit me up, man. I love you.
We didn't even talk about Spider-Man. We just talked about. I don't like this. I like this movie, but here's what's everything that's wrong with it.
Yeah. All right. So
here's what's not wrong with it. Yeah.
Here's what's
Civil
not
War.
wrong with it. Spider-Man. Oh my God. What? That is. A lot of people were like, "Oh yeah, he was just as good as Andrew Garfield." No, he was far superior.
So much better.
Oh my goodness. Oh my, that was such a good portrayal of Spider-Man.
Oh yeah. He did.
The actor is
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
Yeah.
That I remember when I was watching all the not actual casting, but seeing people that were going into audition and different people. I don't remember who I was rooting for, but I definitely had that one person. I'm like, oh, I think this person would be great. And then they cast Tom Holland, and I was like, I've literally never heard of him. I mean, I've heard his name, but I've never seen anything he's in.
I don't know. I have no idea if he was.
I have no idea. That's I was like,
he's Spider-Man now, and he's
but
awesome.
He's Spider-Man now, and he is really, really good.
It was great.
So I
thoroughly enjoyed Tom Holland's performance. I thought he did a very good job.
I thought they captured perfectly because in the comics you read, and Spider-Man he's
a
very witty teenager.
We finally well, it's that's part of the thing. It's he's a teenager. He's not a 30-year-old man pretending to be a high school student.
That's what was great. Because I think even Tom Holland's only 19.
Yeah, he's an actual teenager.
Yeah, in the movie I think that Spider-Man is supposed to be 16 or 17 or something. So he's pretty darn close to the age, and like I was saying in the comics, he's a witty character. He's always making
he's always
one-liners, even in combat, and that it was really, really captured in this movie.
Because I feel even in the other Spider-Man movies, it felt really forced that he was doing that.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield was pretty good as Spider-Man, but even though
he was good in the first one, if you ask me.
Yeah,
the second one I thought he was trash.
I liked Andrew Garfield. He did. He was
because you could tell he really wanted to be Spider-Man, and he did a good job, but it was. Just I think it's partly because Marvel themselves is writing it.
Yeah,
and
Marvel did.
That's actually a funny thing. So I went and saw the movie with Garrett, and after it finishes, we obviously stayed for the second post-credit scene, which is when I was saying Spider-Man will return, and we're watching it, and by then they had already announced that the next that they were making room for Spider-Man: Homecoming, which is the next Spider-Man movie, and so the thing comes up. This is Spider-Man Return, and Garrett goes, and I'm like, what? He goes, I don't want another Spider-Man movie. Sony's gonna ruin it again. And then I go, well, they already announced a little while ago that they're making another Spider-Man movie. Second, Marvel has it now, which is why he was in this movie.
Yeah.
So it should be pretty good. And he just kind of sat there and just goes, oh. And I was like, all right, well.
Well, yeah, because that was the whole thing. First of there's Marvel and Sony are talking about working out a deal about Spider-Man, but then it's Marvel, and Spider-Man's gonna be in Civil War, and it's no, Sony's given up. They just gave the character back to Marvel.
Yeah, it was all oh, all right, so it's gonna be kind of like maybe a shared universe thing, where Sony, but then it was just Sony's no, just have him.
We ruined him.
And let me tell you something. They need to focus more on. They have both X-Men, and no, that's Fox.
That's Fox. Sony doesn't have anything.
You're right.
They
just
have
Sony's done.
Good. Marvel needs to get.
Marvel needs to reacquire all of their characters.
Absolutely.
Well, that's the thing. When they get all their characters back, they're just gonna put all of them. They're either gonna give them a movie or a Netflix TV show. I haven't watched any of the shows.
Yeah, I don't have Netflix. So
I have. Right now there's Daredevil and Jessica Jones,
and there's 2 seasons of Daredevil.
Yes, I've seen. Yeah, and then they're filming.
Or I don't know what the next one that comes out is.
Luke Cage is about.
Is it Luke Cage?
Yeah, Luke Cage is coming out soon. I think pretty closely with second season Jessica Jones, and then they're going to have Iron Fist, and I think they actually announced that they're going to have just a pure Punisher
because everybody likes him.
After how good he was in Daredevil,
nice.
I was a little disappointed that they didn't take some of the TV show characters and put them in Civil War because I really liked Daredevil and Jessica Jones in their respective TV shows.
Well, I mean, yeah, because but then again, too, they're not huge superheroes that everybody knows. They're just kind of
small. They're small.
They're kind of like Spider-Man probably was before this movie, and now that he was fought with the Avengers in Spider-Man: Homecoming, everybody might know who he is now because he's oh, Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't know. It was one of those that I kept hoping to see news that the actor for Daredevil, whatever in the world his name is, I honestly don't even know. Was seen on the cast of on the set of Civil War, and I would be oh, that's really cool. That whoever plays Jessica Jones was, it never came out, and to me that didn't take anything away from the movie because I think how the amount of characters they had was almost just right, it was just enough that you were able to keep track of them all. But at the same time, I would have liked to, because I really like those TV shows. I feel like I had something else to say, but I honestly completely forgot.
Yeah.
We could talk about Nazi Captain America.
Oh, Nazi Captain America. Woo. Oh my god. Alright, so we were all at school one day, and pretty much it was towards the end of the year, and
we weren't doing anything in any of our classes.
Yeah, so in the choir room, because Sean sings, he's a very good singer.
Absolutely.
Sean's in choir along with Johnny, but Johnny's not here. He's also a very good singer, and they would set up Smash on Super Smash on the projector. And play.
So they just play video games in school because we weren't doing anything else.
No, it was great. Like I would come in during my lunch hour because they had choir at the same time I had lunch. And I'd go in and I'd eat lunch and watch them play Smash, and it was great. And I look, and one of the headlines is it was like hashtag Captain America, and I was like, well, that's weird. Like, why is he trending? His movie's it just got out of theaters, and then the one beneath that is Nazi. I'm like, all right, that's a little bit interesting. And then the one beneath that is
Captain America Nazi.
It's Captain America Hydra. And I'm like, oh my god, what is happening? So I click on the Captain America Hydra one, and it's saying all about how Marvel made Captain America a secret Hydra agent for all 70, 75 years, whatever he's been out. And then because Hydra is originally of the Nazi party, the Captain America is a Nazi, which would explain all the other trends. And I'm like, what in the world are they doing here?
Yeah.
So it caused a lot of backlash. A lot of people were super angry, especially because the original writers of Captain America were two Jewish men who almost created him to fight
stand against the Nazis.
To fight Nazis.
To fight Nazis. Yeah. So they were like, you are disrespecting these writers, you're disrespecting the comic book, you're almost ruining everything.
Also, Captain America, he's Captain America.
Exactly. It's literally Captain America. He's not Captain Hydra, he's not Captain Germany, not Captain Adolf Hitler. I don't know what you want to call him. Either way, it's Captain America. So, I don't know. To me, from the beginning, it was very fishy. I was like, what are they really doing here?
What's their plan here?
And what are they? I read a lot of hate. People we're gonna boycott Marvel. We're never gonna buy another comic. Someone fire the writers. I saw a few,
people always get that whenever
the worst is seeing a few that it's I hope Stan Lee dies. It's
oh my god!
I was like Stan Lee had almost nothing to do with this. Yeah, he's up there in Marvel, but he did not write this.
He pretty much only does the cameos.
Exactly.
Does Stan Lee even do anything now?
No,
I don't think so.
He does cameos and he just kind of does whatever, and it's seeing
Stan Lee.
Speaking
of Stan Lee, real quick aside, Stan Lee's Deadpool cameo.
Oh
my gosh!
So when he's the DJ and he's has the girls around him, right? So actually, he said he came out and he said that's his least favorite cameo he's done.
I thought he said it was.
Well, it's his favorite, but they're mad at he's mad at how they did it or something like that, because the girls apparently are not actually there. They put them in with CGI or something.
What?
That was something I read.
CGI'd...
Well, this could be.
I don't think
this could be completely wrong because the internet lies a lot. But what I read was that he was super not happy with seeing the final product of his cameo because the girls around him didn't actually exist.
Huh.
So he read it, or he watched it and saw that there were girls dancing around, and he was like, well, wait a second, when I filmed this there were no girls. These girls don't exist. So he was upset that there were no real girls dancing on him. That was pretty much the story of that cameo.
And his Civil War cameo was also really good.
I don't
Tony
Stank.
Tony, I don't see anything about
Stanky.
that. It just says he wished he could have spent more time there.
Oh,
instead of they were fake.
Maybe the article I read was completely fake, in which case I'm really sorry. I'm probably going to talk like that a lot because, like I said, I have no idea what I'm ever talking about. All right, yeah. So back to Captain America being Nazi. It's you're seeing a ton of hate, and I was kind of with it to a point that I was like, I think this is a really stupid move by Marvel, but at the same time, I trust in them that Marvel almost. In my mind, Marvel can never do any wrong.
Marvel can do no wrong.
Well, at least
Marvel doesn't know wrong.
The people making the movies know what they're doing. The comics, they're it's part. It seems in part they're trying to make it new, but at the same time, it also seems they're trying to pander to increasingly demanding audience. Which
speaking of pandering,
what?
Gay Captain America?
People petition for him to be gay.
Yeah, okay. Before we get to that, though, I want to go into how the Captain America Nazi kind of ended. because
okay.
That was the first Captain America comic of the new series, Steve Rogers' Captain America, where he gets his powers back and then retakes up the helm of Captain America. So in the second one, it came out pretty recently, I think, or maybe it's scheduled to come out, but they've already kind of announced how it ended because of how much
people didn't like the last
they
one.
got. So pretty much in the first one, he gets his powers back from this like cosmic being that comes from the cosmic cube, which I think is
I don't
the one
think
that's
I don't think in the movies. I think they're different in the comics than they are. I don't think it's an Infinity Stone in the movies or in the comics. Oh my gosh.
It was like this cosmic being that came from the cosmic cube that was like in the shape of a little girl. Well, the cosmic cube was in the comics at least was previously held by Red Skull, who then kind of like who then influenced this girl that when she gave him Captain America, or that when she gave Captain America his powers back, was working with Red Skull. So she put these memories into his head,
like fake memories that he was
approached by a Hydra agent. So then he thinks he's Hydra, but he's not. He's still Captain America, but this like cosmic being has put in this Hydra ideal into his head.
I thought they said to they said this is Captain America. It's like it's not mind control. It's not like a clone or anything.
Yeah,
like they said he actually is a Nazi, and then they went back and retconned it to saying it's mind control.
Well, I mean, it's really not mind control. It's more like
he's
been given his powers that he thinks like, oh, this is me, and yeah, it's more mind altering that he thinks this is truly he in his world, like that is who he is. So that's kind of like how they solved it. He's not a Nazi. I mean,
he just thinks he is.
He thinks he's a Nazi.
He thinks he's a Nazi.
Which is worse, being a Nazi or thinking you're a Nazi?
I don't know.
I'm gonna go with like don't do either.
Yeah.
Life advice: never associate yourself with the Nazi party. But yeah, so that's kind of how they solved it. At least that's what I read on how they are solving it. So yeah, but yeah, then there's the gay.
The people
thing.
trying to make
Captain America gay.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
like this is kind of touchy because I don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing wrong with having a gay character, but I don't think
like
retroactively changing an already existing character to make
an already existing character
exactly
just for the sake of it's diversity. Is that what you would call it?
It's to the same thing as the Nazi, and I'm not in no way am I saying that
gay people are Nazis.
No,
you just said gays are Nazis.
Christopher.
Well, I mean, sorry, crucify me, I guess. But so I understand that the world is changing and that the LGBT.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
we're going to die.
Oh no.
No, okay, no. Listen, I'm going to be very careful with my words because, like I said, I'm not trying to offend anybody, and I'm certainly not going to insult anyone. I realize that is a huge movement now, and I'm totally behind it. I agree. People that are gay people, they deserve the same rights as a human because that's what they are. They're a human. But if people are going to throw a huge fit about them changing Captain America, like his backstory after 75 years, why are these exact same people behind them changing his backstory just so that he fits in with the culture today? Like, he wasn't created today. He was created in the 1940s. He's been this same character for 70, however many years. Don't change him now because of what we want in the world.
What you want right now, not in the long run, I guess. It's like you want... Yeah. It's like representation is super important, but you shouldn't... I don't think changing
existing characters is not the way to do it.
Exactly. And that was the other thing is a ton of people were saying... Because, obviously when I was training on Twitter, hashtag make Captain America gay or whatever, give Captain America a boyfriend.
Something I don't know.
Hashtag was, and I read it, I'm like, well, this is interesting, let's go into the... there's also a lot of hate in there, and it's stuff that you don't like seeing, because it's purposely attacking a group of people. But then there are also a lot of people that are making good points, like, hey, there are already...
gay characters.
Exactly.
They already have...
There are already a fair amount of gay characters in comics, so why change this one that has so for his entire life been this certain way when you already have some that are like that? And like I said, I'm not trying to offend anyone, but I mean that's kind of it. Like if he is straight, keep him straight. That's his character. That's how he's always been. And just I don't know. I guess just kind of deal with it.
Also, there's like the whole issue of like making characters gay or an insert minority group here just for the sake of
pandering to that specific minority group instead.
Because it's like once you make a character that is gay and you make being gay like their whole
it's not
like
a character.
A major
like,
part
the
of their
fact
character,
that they're gay shouldn't be
then,
the only
thing
about the character.
The part
they
that,
need to be a character.
Then they're not a character. They're just a caricature.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's like if you make a character that is gay just because we want them to be gay, and you're going to know very well that they are gay, and we're going to rub it in your face that they are gay.
It's a bad character because it's not.
It's like, okay, is this the character that I know and recognize and enjoy because they're a strong character that is very well developed, or is this a character that I'm going to know and recognize
solely
because they're gay?
Fact, yeah.
It's like, what do I know about this character? Well, they're gay. Okay, what else?
Exactly.
I don't know. Why do I care about the character's sexual orientation?
Yeah, because it's like, unless it's a story specifically about sexuality, which I don't think any of these comics really are. It shouldn't be like a huge deal. Like, obviously they want to have like romance subplots, whatever.
Yeah, and like you can make like being gay part of like their character. Like maybe they grew up in like a place where it wasn't like accepted, so that was like a hardship that they had to fight through. But that's different from making it like, oh, look at me, I'm the gay character.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, in my mind, if you're a superhero, the only really thing that should matter is what are your powers and what do you do with them.
Yeah,
it shouldn't the backstories, and you said the word. It's a subplot. Like
it's
romances,
not
like they're important to like developing the character.
But that's all.
But they need to be a character.
They should not be the forefront of what the character is about.
All it is a subplot. Like, focus on what the character is and like what his powers are and how he fights them, not his backstory,
or like what you want him to
preferences.
represent instead of who he is and like how he does it.
Like,
go
ahead.
So, also kind of along the same lines, and actually, I like this move by Marvel to a point. I have one complaint about it: the new Iron Man.
I don't know anything about this, so I'm just kind of...
I only just saw, like, the poster.
Mm-hmm.
So, alright, I can talk into it a little bit. I don't know a lot, but I have read a little bit on it because I was confused at first. So, what Marvel's doing now is they're taking Iron Man, and Tony Stark is stepping down, almost, kind of, and giving the reins over to a student of his, a 15-year-old African-American student, who is, like, she's a genius, and she's enrolled at, I think, MIT. He's giving her the reins because she's a genius, and she actually builds her own suit in the comics when they're going to introduce her.
Okay.
And so that's why I was like, I really like this move. My only complaint is why are they still calling her Iron Man? Call her like Iron Maiden or something. Which I realize,
Iron Maiden's already
it's
like
a band, but
I mean that's a badass name,
right? Like, bro. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna call Iron Maiden on you. Like, I'm really sorry. Please don't.
It's
that.
Do you know what an Iron Maiden is? It's a medieval torture device.
It's
a
box
with nails, like spikes in it. Like those things. That's a badass name.
Yeah, and like why I really like this move by Marvel is they didn't all of a sudden take Tony Stark and be like,
I think this is
black.
like
We're just gonna make him black. They said, we're going to introduce
character.
a new character,
yeah.
and this one's black.
And,
I think this is a good way of doing it.
That's what I really liked about it. I was like, I saw the headlines and there were people complaining because, this world's filled with awful, just like racist people.
Who, like,
but I saw this and I was like, you know what? Good for Marvel. Like,
they're actually making
people
a
wanted
new character.
diversity, so instead of changing something else, they're saying, all right, we'll introduce a new character and we'll appeal to the masses while still doing like our normal thing.
Yeah.
And I really liked that.
Yeah,
movie.
I can get behind that.
They did the same thing with Miss Marvel, didn't they?
See,
a few years ago. Like, I don't know anything about those comics.
I
think they just like it's not Carol Danvers anymore. It's like a different character in the comics.
See, what I hope they don't do with this is along the lines of making the character that's just a caricature is something that I know that they, well, I don't know, but I've seen a few things that they did with Woman Thor, where like I don't know if this is like a common thing across the whole comics because I didn't read them, but I saw several pages where it was very apparent that Woman Thor is a woman. What else do I know about Woman Thor? I don't know. I know that she's a woman. And
exactly. Like when I saw the Woman Thor was a thing, all I could see was, wow, Thor's a woman now. How cool. I'm like, what's her backstory? Like, how did she?
Isn't it Jane Foster? I think is what they said.
I don't know, but like I saw a couple of pages that were just really stupid. Like there was a villain that she was fighting that let her off just because she was a woman, and it's like, that's really stupid.
With what they're doing with the Iron, I just really hope that they approach this almost as if she was Tony Stark, but she's just like she's the same, almost like being like in a metal suit, just a different character, but that they treat her like the exact same way. Like I don't want it. I don't like if I ever pick up one of the comics that like she's the Iron Man or Iron Maiden.
You shouldn't feel like you need to read up
exactly.
on
Exactly. I don't want to read it and like be looking and be like, oh, okay, so here she's treated different because she's a woman. Like flip the page. Okay, and all right, there's
she's
black. A joke about how she's black African American. And you turn around. All right, so they're very clearly making a point. Hey, this is an African American female. No, just make the point that she is now Iron Man.
Yeah,
whatever they.
Well, like obviously, she's not going to be the same as Tony Stark.
I mean, yeah,
she's
going
to be different. She's going to have her own.
Yeah, she has like her own like goals and whatever. Basically, I just hope that they don't. Like, I just hope that they don't make the character based solely on the fact that she is an African American.
Like exactly, like they obviously
because that's great. I think that there's nothing wrong with that.
I completely agree.
But it's like they made a new character and like they took one step in the right direction. They just need to keep going.
Exactly.
That way.
Like do I want them to be very like politically correct? Like in terms of don't like. Be like
doing it for pandering instead because you want to.
Like do it for the right reasons. Don't do it just because you want to appeal to like the masses and just do it from like do it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And then like on the lines, and this is actually what like when I first saw it, I was like again I was immediately on board with them. Like I like how they're doing this. But then I read something again and. Again, could be fake because the internet is a cruel place sometimes. But it was giving the writer of that comic that's transitioning to Iron Man that it was giving the reason that they're doing it, and because he said that he knew a girl that when she grew up in Chicago, which I believe is going to be the same kind of story for this new comic book character.
She's in Chicago, not New York. Okay,
yeah, I think so. That it was an African American woman. Teenager that grew up in Chicago and she was super smart, but her entire life had kind of almost fallen victim to street violence. Like her entire family had been like shot or killed or something. So she was almost like growing up on her own in Chicago, and she ended up at 15 like enrolling in MIT or something. So like she was this genius, and he said his at least what I read was that his words were that is as close to a modern day superhero story that I will ever hear. So he was like. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make her a superhero. Like, I'm going to make a character based around this person that I know, and that's going to be a superhero. And I saw that, and I was immediatly like, see, this is
the right way to do it.
This is doing it for the right reasons, and this is doing it in the right way. And I am, like, I really, like, I'm proud of Marvel for doing it this way.
Yeah. Like, superhero stuff like that, it should always be about, like, overcoming hardship. And
I agree.
That is...
That's a hardship.
If that's true, that's definitely quite the hardship.
Exactly. Like that's like seeing it, like reading it. I was like it almost like touches your heart a little bit. Like I don't know this character at all. Like it hasn't even come out yet. There's only the headlines. But it's like, but I already feel like they're doing this character really well because she's almost like even if you took away the Iron Man thing, you would still be able to say I can relate to this person. This is a real superhero right here.
Yeah, and then I also hope. That she's not just like a Mary Sue, but like that's just like a general thing.
Yeah. Because
Mary Sues are bad characters. They make bad characters. They're boring.
Yeah. So
hopefully, speaking of Mary Sues,
we gotta go there.
That's a very common criticism of Rey from Star Wars: Force Awakens.
So let's jump back.
Let's go back to
going back in time.
Back to what was it? December?
Yeah, it was late December. Okay. First things first, don't you ever rip on my baby girl Rey, okay? I love that character.
It's the thing, is like I don't think she's a Mary Sue. I just think in the movie she was only in situations where she would have been like good because like obviously she grew up her whole life around like, technology, so she'd be good at that kind of stuff.
And I mean it's kind of like it's iffy. I'm kind of iffy on Rey like as a character. I think she's pretty cool. I don't think that she's quite a Mary Sue, but like Definitely some like walking the line here.
Yeah,
so
I agree
like
too.
It's a fine line.
I don't know.
Before we keep going, can you explain to me what a Mary Sue is?
Okay,
I've never heard this term before.
Okay, so a Mary Sue is like a character that is just basically perfect.
They do
everything. They're like they can do no wrong.
No
they know everything. They're like a moral paragon. They're just a great person overall, has no and they're just great at everything.
Okay.
So a perfect character because no one likes Mary Sue's because they're boring and
yeah. All right.
So now that you know that, and anyone who is listening knows that.
I can see how that argument could be made for Rey because she's like this girl, she's grown up in the desert her whole life, but she's super good at doing this. She can fly super well, but yet she's never left her own planet. She's never flown before. She is the perfect being. She can do everything. But to the same point, you have to kind of think there are a lot of times she doesn't know at all what she's doing.
Yeah.
When she's fighting Kylo Ren with at the end of the movie, she's she's looking like she's gonna die.
That's also something that really bothers me. When people criticize the movie, they're like, "Oh, how could Rey, who's never held the lightsaber, be so good in a fight against Kylo Ren?"
It's a thing called the Force.
And
the Force and Kylo Ren got shot.
And then they always forget about the fact, Kylo Ren has a very big wound in his side from this weapon that throughout the whole movie they've made a pattern of showing how awesome the bowcaster is. Several shots where Han Solo was like, wow, this is a really good gun. I like this gun. It's really powerful. Look at these guys. They just flew 10 feet because I shot them. It's oh, and Kylo Ren just is shrugging it off and still fighting. How can you just ignore that fact when you talk about this fight?
It's and even watching it because I've seen the same complaint. She shouldn't have been able to beat him. And you're watching it. He is very clearly beating her.
Yeah.
He says to her, I can train you, and you know.
It's only when he hears him say the Force is when she starts
and you know that if she hadn't heard the Force and she says no, I don't want to train with you, he very easily would have killed her. That would have been the end of the movie. He could have killed her, but he says something about the Force and that's been what all of the Star Wars movies about, is that the Force can make you do incredible things you didn't know you could do. So she hears the Force, she kind of calms down, does the whole close her eyes the Force. The Force. And she fights back. That's something that's been done in the Star Wars universe. Even going back to the prequels, and I'm sorry to mention them, I like to think they don't exist. But watching in episode 2, young Anakin, he's fighting Count Dooku, and normally you'd be like, oh, this is retarded. Count Dooku's super strong. Anakin's a Padawan. He should be getting his butt kicked. But there's a thing called the Force that allows you to do
things. Anakin is the chosen one.
Yeah, he's also,
Is he, though? Is there really a chosen one yet?
He was the chosen one.
He was the chosen one.
You were the chosen one, Anakin. Favorite scene in any Star Wars movie ever. But yeah, so that's a complaint I've seen.
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Stop. Such a bad line.
Well, it's they talk about, I feel with Rey, because she's a Mary Sue, she has no character flaws. I think, it's the thing, too, is she grew up on this, desert planet where everybody, presumably was, rough and mean.
Yeah.
It's she gets, everybody who's nice to her, she immediately gets, super attached to, and then...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And also, I think it's kind of hard to say that, oh, this person's a Mary Sue when we don't know anything about her.
Yeah.
We know who she is from that movie, which takes place in the span of, I don't know.
A couple days.
Yeah, a couple days. But
we know she's good at mechanics.
Yeah, and she's good at mechanics, which you can understand because even the first scene,
her whole life,
first scene you see her, she's taking apart things, and you get the impression
rummaging
she's been doing this her whole life because she's been on her own. But you can't go out and say, oh, she's Mary Sue, she does everything, when you know next to nothing about this character. I mean, we don't know who her parents are yet.
Yeah. I personally don't think she's a Mary Sue.
No, I don't at all. Like I said,
I just did that because I thought it was a good segue.
No, it's perfectly fine. But yeah, so I guess we are turning back time a little bit. That just talking about that movie in general, that's a really good movie.
It was a good movie. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I remember I watched it with Garrett again. I go to the movies with him a lot, and I watched it with him, and we're leaving the theater, and there's this huge line of people, and I turn to him and I go, I dare you to yell Han Solo dies. and one person kind of gave me this look. And so I turn again, and we left the theater immediately, but we're in the car, and I went with his entire family pretty much because I really wanted to go, and he was like, hey, I'm going with my family if you want to come. Your family's my family, let's go. So we're afterwards we're in the car, and I go, I should just tweet the spoiler right now. It's right now. So Gary goes, I'll do it. So he pulls out his phone, tweets something. He did not. I go look on Twitter, and his tweet was, spoiler alert, Snape kills Dumbledore. And I was oh my god, I truly thought you were going to die. I thought I was going to say goodbye to you, and then you were going to die. I don't know where I was going with that story, but
it's just a good movie.
Yeah, regardless, it's a
spoiler alert. Han Solo dies.
Yeah. Oh yeah, spoiler alert. Han Solo's like dead and stuff.
He's super dead.
You sent the video yesterday with John Cena.
It was
right?
John Cena.
That was so funny.
That was.
It's if for people that don't know at all what we're talking about, it's a video that it's when Han Solo is approaching Ben. He like yells Ben.
And then he's like,
around.
"What? He take off that mask."
Going like, "What do you think?" Face of my son. He's like, "What do you think?" Or,
what do you think you'll see if I do? And he's like, "The face of my son." And then he takes off the mask. And it's the John Cena thing. He's like, "Are you sure about that?"
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. It's like memes, man. Memes are A1. I love memes.
Oh man.
But yeah, Star Wars along the same lines. Rogue One comes out end of this year.
Rogue One, I am hype.
Very excited for that.
When does 8 come out?
It'll
next
be
year.
Next year.
Yeah, it'll be 2018. I think
2017 when.
I'm sorry. Yeah, 2017.
2018 is going to be the Han Solo one that kind of people are kind of like.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that one yet, just because I know nothing about it. No one does really. But yeah, Star Wars 8 comes out 2017. It's going to be late in the year again, right?
It's going to be. Well, they switched them all.
It.
Well, they switched them all to December pretty much because it's like the only reason Force Awakens came out in December because Harrison Ford broke his leg or something.
Yeah, in a plane crash.
Wow.
No, I think he broke his leg and he got in the plane crash. So I think he's like.
Was it both?
Yeah, I think it was both.
Oh my god, Harrison Ford,
dude, that guy. Like I'm telling you, for being 1,000 years old, I don't know. He's like
he's old.
That
really old movie.
He's a legend. Like the other day.
Yes, and we're just like time traveling all over the place here.
Yeah, like the other day, super time traveler here. I was watching the movie Air Force One, which came out in like the 90s, and Harrison Ford's in it, and you look. He has gray hairs in the 90s.
Well, it's like Harrison Ford.
Oh my god,
he's had gray hair since like he was born.
Yeah,
he was born like a 40-year-old man.
Yeah. Look, I turn to my sister and my cousin because I'm watching with them, and I go, "It's funny to think he has gray hair in this movie." So you're thinking, "Oh, he probably doesn't have much left." Well, no, he just came out with a movie last year. He died, but. Still,
well, the actual Harrison Ford didn't die. Han Solo died.
Yeah, thank God. The day Harrison Ford dies, they need to call off schools.
Oh yeah, national holiday,
and National Harrison Ford Day. But yeah, Rogue One. Really excited about that. I think the return of Darth Vader. I'm excited to see how they'll do that.
Have either of you guys watched the Clone Wars?
The animated?
No, I haven't. No.
Well, what is wrong with you? But anyway,
I know.
It's like
I don't watch TV.
I really don't either.
Yeah, well, it's like I think it's cool because one of the characters in the movie is a character that first appeared in the Clone Wars, and it's like I think it's cool that you're going to be able to see
like a real
what happened to him
now.
That's
what I've been reading. I do a lot of reading up on things that I'm interested on, but I never follow through on like any of it. Like almost like never. Like if a new movie comes out, then I'm like, oh, I want to see that. I'll go read up on it, and then I'm like, wow, it's getting really good reviews. I'll see it whenever. And I just never end up seeing it. I don't know. So
that's kind of like Warcraft. Like it's like people are like critics destroyed it, but actual people who saw it say like, yeah, it's pretty good. Like
so it's like,
I'm not gonna watch it until.
I heard Warcraft. I heard that. I heard it was a good movie, but if you don't know, like, if you've never like played the Warcraft games, you don't really know the lore. Then you'll be kind of lost.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's like I don't know any of that.
But
stuff
I haven't seen it, so I can't really judge.
Actually, I just watched a movie recently that critics destroyed, but fans really liked it. It was Laser Team. The movie.
Oh, I still haven't seen Laser Team.
I won't spoil anything. I just want to say, like, I watched it and I thought it was really, really good. And they just actually announced that they're coming out with the Laser Team 2.
They are?
Yeah. Cause
really?
RTX was this past weekend, and they were holding a Q&A, and one of the questions like, "So, is there going to be a sequel?" And they all kind of stared at each other and were like, "Well, we had a proper way to announce this, but F it.
Yeah.
Laser Team 2. So yeah, they're making a Laser Team 2. But that's a really good movie, and critics are like, this is so dumb. But
it was supposed to. It seems like it was supposed to be dumb.
That's not a movie for the critics. That's a movie for the fans. Mm-hmm. Like I only watch Laser Team because I'm a fan of Rooster Teeth. It's a Rooster Teeth production, so I'm gonna watch this, and I really enjoyed it as a fan. And like for someone going to see Warcraft, you're not going to see that because like, I think it's going to be a good movie. You're going to go see that because you love playing Warcraft. Like so it's a lot of things like that.
When did the original Warcraft games come out?
That was like the mid-90s.
Mid-90s?
I think it was 96.
It was a long time ago.
I did a video game report sophomore year. And
on Warcraft?
No, just not video games.
Oh, okay.
And one of them was like a
Warcraft
time, like a history of video games.
And one of them I put in there was Warcraft came out because it was one of like the first.
I mean, yeah, Warcraft was like a very influential. It spawned Dota.
Yeah. So that's why I put it in there because I'm like, this is an influential game. This needs to be like taken note of. And I think it was around 96. I'm probably wrong because I don't know anything. But
old game.
Yeah, very old.
But I mean, there a lot of people play World of Warcraft, so
yeah. Well, not anymore, really. But
I mean,
there's
still a lot of people playing World of Warcraft.
So, video games.
Yeah, video games. Good transition.
E3 2016. Yeah, it just ended, 2 weeks ago?
Something like that.
2 weeks.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, none of us attended it because it's in LA. Right?
Yeah.
And
we're in high school.
Yeah, we're in high school, and we live on the other side of the country, so not easy for us to go.
And we also don't have, like, thousands of dollars and going to wait in line to play one video game for half an hour.
Not yet. You wait till this podcast takes off.
Hey!
For real, though, so, Twitch, which is a streaming website, if people don't know, a lot of people don't know what Twitch is, surprisingly. I'll mention it. They're like, what's Twitch? I'm like, all right, get out of my house.
Yeah, but you're talking, like, real people.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
People
if you use the internet a lot, you know what Twitch is.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, I didn't until like this year. I did not know what Twitch was for the longest time.
I mean, yeah, but now you do.
Yeah, I do, and I love Twitch. So Twitch was hosting all of E3, all the press conferences on there, and the first one I watched because it was the first one was EA's.
Was that the first one?
Yeah, I almost said E3. I'm like, wait, nope, wasn't watching the E3 conference at E3. I was watching the EA. That was really bad. It was a really bad press conference.
Was it just FIFA the whole time or sports?
It was just like Madden the whole. It was just the Madden.
Madden. The Madden tournament. No,
was the Madden tournament a separate thing?
Yeah, they had like the press conferences and the Madden tournament after, and I actually wanted to watch that, but I didn't. So I have up the games that were announced at EA's, and Titanfall 2, which I will say actually looked really really cool.
Yeah, I mean Titanfall probably like the only.
Titanfall was like the game. It's like people played it like this is good, and then like maybe they played it for a month.
Yeah, Titanfall, from what I saw, was actually a really cool game, and then no one played it.
Yeah, it apparently just got like really washed out quickly because there was no story. All you could do was multiplayer. It was
multiplayer. It was a like $60 multiplayer only game.
Yeah, but now with Titanfall 2, they're doing story mode, and it actually looks really like a good story mode.
Okay.
And they're doing multiplayer, but then they're changing it a little bit, so like, it's almost like better. Like they showed like a demo of the multiplayer, and it was real people playing it, so it wasn't like a captured in game or like CGI footage.
Where designed to look like game footage. But
it was
like Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
It was,
and now they're making that. They're making Watch Dogs 2.
Let's not talk about that.
That was like the ad on every YouTube video for that whole week.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. That was awful.
I'm gonna.
But yeah,
reserve judgment for Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah, I mean, I never played the first Watch Dogs. Heard it was not good. No. I mean, not bad. But
they just said it did not deliver on what they kind of promised it to be.
You watch the trailer of that game, and these aren't even my own words. I got it from somewhere else. That it was like you watch this game, and you're like, you can do anything. You can hack this, and you can hack that. You can do all this, and then you play the game, and you're like, I can make bridges go up and down, and stoplights. I can make them red and green, and all that. And it's like. So where's the everything you can do? So what you said, it under-delivered. There's Titanfall 2, Mass Effect Andromeda.
Well, did they even show anything, or did they just kind of like say, we're still making this?
I think it was like another one that it was like all like CGI, like computer,
just like a cinematic trailer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh. That, I remember I played all the other Mass Effect games. Mass Effect.
The Mass Effect, bro. Let me tell you, Mass Effect is bad.
Not even once.
I played all the other games, and they were all really good, but it's like, I watched the trailer or whatever it was for this one. I don't even remember if it was like an actual trailer, if it was like, here at EA, we're working really hard on this game, but it's like, I don't remember anything about that.
Yeah.
Mass Effect.
Yeah, I've never played on the Mass Effect. I've seen gameplay out on Twitch. It looks like a fun game. It's not. It's like
the gameplay is most. It's like just kind of like okay shooting, but it's like it's all the choices and like the characters.
It's like the story.
That's what I've heard. Is like the physical like storyline, like the writing.
I thought that like Mass Effect 3 was like the last one. Like
I thought it's of that like trilogy.
Yeah. Oh, but then this one.
So is it like a separate?
Yeah, because this one's.
It's like it's not Shepard anymore.
Oh, it's not. Okay. Yeah. So it's just it's in the same universe but a different.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so. And then there's. The normal Madden 2017, FIFA 17, which, what you said, or one of you said it, that took up like 95% of the press conference. Like, they did not shut up about FIFA. And I love sports games. Madden 16, I have so much hours into that. Like I'm a little ashamed. FIFA 15 was the last one I had. I loved playing that. I played it a ton. But let's be honest, if you're going to E3, you're not going to E3 for the sports games. Like, it's like, I want to see like what you're doing, but they're like, oh, FIFA, you're gonna
how much can you innovate in sports games?
Yes. Like FIFA and like Madden, it was more. It's like, oh, there's graphics, or like better graphics. There's new techniques, new roster, new like kind of gameplay things. And then they're like, and later we're having a Madden tournament, so you can like come by, check out Madden. It's still Madden 16 because 17 isn't even done yet. They're like, so yeah, just like come by that. And, like they didn't talk about Madden a lot, which was upsetting to me because I like the Madden more. But I mean, what they talked about it was like a fair amount for being a sports game. And then FIFA came up, and they're like, oh my god! And like everyone was hoping Pele would come out because last year they had Pele come out to announce FIFA 16. But so like they just kept going on about FIFA. Like I remember reading the chat because I was watching one of my favorite streamers. Hosting E3 because I like his chat. They're normally pretty funny. And I'm watching the chat and they were just bashing it. Like they were like, okay, we realize you can kick a soccer ball, you can score a net. This guy looks pretty cool. Move on with it. We don't want to see it. There's Battlefield 1. Let's get to that. Like, and I kind of agreed. It was just a lot. But then they have Fee. Did you guys see anything about that?
No.
Nope.
I don't
know. Yeah, it's kind of like an indie.
I saw a little.
I don't know how to explain it. Apparently, it does look good. I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep during part of the press conference. Like when they kept going on about like FIFA, I'm like, I'm gonna get some food, and then I end up like taking like a quick like 15-minute power nap. Came back and I missed like all of the Star Wars stuff.
Well, so I mean, it's like I don't think they've talked about very much. It was. It
was one of those that I think from what I've seen, they were just kind of like, we have Star Wars.
Now, moving on.
Yeah.
Battlefield 1.
Yeah, Battlefield 1, though.
I think it's like, I'm not huge into shooters. I think that's still like a really cool idea. Like World War I.
Really cool. Yeah, like, they had the actual gameplay of it after the conference ended with like real people. They had like different teams and all that. And I believe the lobbies, the teams it's like 64 v 64.
I mean, that's battle. That's
is it just 64 in general? I don't know, but it's like
no Battlefield has always been like larger scale.
Yeah, you might be right though. It might just be like 64 in general, but either like that game looks really freaking good. Like it looks good from what I can tell. Like it plays really well. Obviously they were just doing like multiplayer because they had a ton of people there. But it looks really really good, and I'm super excited for that. Can't play it because I have a 360, but I'm still excited for it. Like I'm still like that's my thing recently is like I get super excited for a lot of games, and then I get really disappointed because I can't play them.
Yeah, at No Man's Sky for me.
Oh, No Man's Sky
got delayed.
It did.
It did?
Yeah.
I thought it was like wasn't it like supposed to come out? It was
supposed to come out like a couple weeks ago,
and then it got delayed again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So No Man's Sky. And then there's Bethesda.
Bethesda, we're making Skyrim again.
Yeah.
That's like
it. They're
like, did they really do
making Skyrim again? Dishonored 2, which had been already announced before E3, they just were kind of showing more of it, and it does look cool. Cool. It does look cool. I hated the first Dishonored game. I turned it off after like 2 hours, deleted it from my Xbox, and I've never played it again. Really not a fan. But I mean, Dishonored 2 looks pretty cool. So
yeah, we'll see.
Maybe, and then.
Yeah.
DLCs, Prey, whatever that is. A new Quake. Does anyone care? Probably not.
Is this like 2004?
So. Yeah, I didn't see much about Quake.
And then we got into Microsoft, and that was
Microsoft
was day 2. I liked their press conference. It was not the best one, but I did.
They have some pretty like cool looking games that they have.
Yeah, like
Like I'm probably not gonna play very many of them, but they look interesting.
I'll run down a list here. I don't want to like talk about each one in depth. Just like Gears of War 4, Battlefield 1, Forza Horizons 3, ReCore, Final Fantasy 15, Killer Instinct, Inside, We Happy Few, which actually that looks really good.
What's that? What is that?
It kind of looked like, in terms of visuals, it looks like Bioshock, but it's pretty much you're in this world like every day. You wake up and you take pills that make you happy. So like everyone kind of like wears a mask. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. I don't think they never kind of said what the game is about. It's just like, hey, everyone's happy because you take these pills. People are wearing masks, but maybe you don't.
So it's like a dystopian.
So it's like 1984 kind of thing.
But it looks really good. Okay. Gwent, which is a Witcher card game. Tekken 7.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Dead Rising 4, which actually, the Dead Rising games, after 2, they were kind of like, you know what, let's just do whatever we want. So it looks more outrageous than ever. I'm actually kind of in the middle of playing Dead Rising 2. I'll play it for like 2 hours, realize I hate it,
and then stop,
and then come back the next day, play it for like an hour, and I'm like, I really don't like this, and then like leave. I mean, I don't know. I can play it in like
zombies in video games are just
it's had its course.
It's been done, but a lot.
Scalebound, don't know what that is.
That looked kind of weird. It's like
it looked interesting.
It's like you can control a dragon, but it's like fantasy, sort of modern-ish. I don't know. It looks kind of strange. I haven't seen any gameplay. I just saw like a trailer, and it's
from the short amount that I saw of it, it looked interesting.
All right. I mean, I'll take your word for it. Sea of Thieves, which actually
that looks pretty cool.
That looks fun. It's the pirate ship game.
Yeah.
That looks really fun.
That looks cool.
State of Decay 2. All they did for that was a reveal trailer. They didn't have any gameplay or anything. It was literally just like there's this car driving and they're like going through a field and they hit a zombie or something. You're like, all right, what's going on here? They pull into a gas station and they're like talking and then
that was the trailer.
No, yeah, and then you see an explosion in the background. They're like, oh, let's go. And one guy, when he got to the gas station, was sitting on the hood. When he gets off the hood, a ton of dust from the hood comes off, and you see the State of Decay emblem or something.
Okay.
So, State of Decay 2. All right, I never played the first one. It got pretty good.
Was the first one like an Xbox arcade game, or was it like an actual? There was like some zombie game that was like arcade only or something.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I really don't know. But I mean, the first game I saw gameplay. It looked good. So then this one, it'll be whatever. And then Halo Wars 2, which another Halo.
Halo RTS Halo. Why?
I don't know.
Apparently, some people like the first one.
A lot of people really liked Halo Wars. So like, yeah, we'll make a second one.
I tried playing it, and it was kind of boring.
I think it's more of a Microsoft thing where they're like, hey, we need to put out a
Halo.
A Halo.
Ooh, I need to plug my laptop in.
Oh no.
We don't want to end this podcast yet.
All right, we'll keep talking.
Okay.
And then, so that was all the major games. There are probably a few small ones. And then we have Ubisoft, Just Dance 2017. They're still still pumping out those games.
Those are still being made.
Yep, another Ghost Recon, Wildlands. This one, I like the title, South Park: The Fractured Butthole. That looks pretty fun. The first South Park game was apparently really good. I never got to play it, but I wanted to.
It looked. I've seen like a whole playthrough of it. It was.
I don't know.
Pretty good.
I think Johnny played it, which if he was here, he could probably talk about it. But he's not here.
But he's not here. So
Johnny, communist. He's not an actual communist. I just call him that. Please
or
don't.
So we think.
Or I mean,
yeah, just please don't threaten him. Then the Division's getting a DLC. Eagle Flight.
Eagle Flight.
Eagle Flight.
Oh.
Does anyone know what?
I don't think I saw.
I'm not
going
to
to
look into it. A new Star Trek game, For Honor. Which that game, For Honor, I think that's one that looks really cool. I saw some gameplay of it. It looks nice. What have you done to yourself?
No, don't worry about it.
What happened?
Well, Sean's bleeding.
Oh my gosh.
We're just gonna. Do you need to
I'll be right
Hang
back.
on. Okay.
About E3 shit.
Yeah. Okay. So where were we?
Okay, we're back. I had some.
Sean had blood in his.
We had to take him to the hospital. He almost died.
I mean, we didn't, but we'll say we did. Yeah, it was awful. 15 stitches.
Oh yeah.
They had to resuscitate him at one point because he lost so much blood. It was incredible.
Don't play with knives, kids.
Yeah, it all happened in a span of 2 minutes. Wow.
Just kind of casually scraping my skin off.
Whatever. I think I was at For Honor. That's a game. I've seen some gameplay, I think, that some people were invited to go play it at E3 or something, someplace, and they recorded it. And it does look really good.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. I don't remember what it's about. I honestly probably could not tell you, but it looks good. So,
okay.
And then Grow Up.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea. Trials of the Blood Dragon, which they combined Trials Fusion and Far Cry Blood Dragon, and they put them together.
That sounds really cool.
Okay, yeah. So go. There are 2 different videos I watched. I know Achievement Hunter did a Let's Watch in it, where they had one person playing it, and they got through like 40 minutes of the game, and then Funhouse on one of their podcasts was playing it, and it's a Blood Dragon game. It just looks so ridiculous. Like, there are some missions where you're on a bike, and then you like do a front flip off the bike, land your feet, go shoot some people, run, get back on the bike, and like keep going. And it's just like you're watching the videos. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, I don't even like it's bright colors everywhere. I don't know what's happening.
Watch Dogs 2.
Oh,
Watch Dogs 2, which we kind of briefly
mentioned
talked about. I think. 2. Yeah.
Watch Dogs 2.
I don't want to comment on it because I never played the first one. It under-delivered. So this one, I don't want to like get into like the what happened with the first one. Like, oh, you can do anything, and then have it be the same game as last time. Although the one comment I saw, or not comment, one comment I want to make about something that I saw in the trailer was there was one part where they did something that they put up a big it was all in game. Well, supposedly that they put up something on the side of a building like a projector, and it said something about Big Brother. And I was like, hey, that's funny, because in school this year we all had to read 1984. I'm like, hey, look at that. Big Brother made into a video game.
That's why they make you read it in school, because it might be a video game reference. Not because you need to know about the government
not at all.
brainwashing you.
Everything goes back to video games.
You can learn about references, pop culture stuff.
And then we have Steep. I literally know. I
that might have been like the first-person snowboarding game where you can actually die or something.
I hope so. Hold on. Let me click on it.
Yeah, that sounds.
I think
cool.
I think it I saw a little bit of that where it's like you do a flip and then like your guy breaks his legs and you like see it all in first person or something.
Ooh, wow.
Steep isn't. Wait, hold on. Steep is an action sports game. It takes place. Alps in Alaska. Yeah, so it must be. Cool. That's actually kind of cool.
That sounds cool.
I might play that. I would do it. So kind of like in Skate.
All you would ever do is like jump off the mountain and break your legs.
Like
over
in
and over.
In Skate 3, there was a mode where you had to cause as much personal damage to yourself as possible. Whoever did the most like damage and money won. That's what I would do in that game. Just go make a huge jump, spring off it, and bail from the board. Just bye.
And just ragdoll down the mountain.
And that's all from the Ubisoft conference. And then you have the Sony one, which this list is really long.
There was
Sony
apparently
had a lot of things.
Yes.
God of War, new God of War. God of War is
with
now
Beard Kratos.
Norse.
Yeah, they moved it to Norse.
Yeah,
which
they
is that's all.
Yeah, Kratos is.
Oh, so is that why he has a beard? Because he's in Viking land.
Now he's a Viking.
Yeah.
I mean, looks interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the
different,
first.
I mean, it's certainly different.
This is technically 4.
They've made more than 4 games, I think. They made spin-offs or something.
Yeah, but
that are just the main storyline.
I think it's the fourth one,
fourth or fifth, something like that.
That looks like a God of War game. I don't know. Many of them.
God of War is, from what I've seen, it's a pretty cool franchise. So.
Yeah, I watched a streamer recently did a playthrough of the first and second one. Maybe.
It certainly looks interesting.
Yeah, it looks like a God of War game. Days Gone.
Huh?
Days Gone? No.
The Last Guardian.
That's one.
I swear this game has been in development for 20 years.
Because I saw something going into E3 that was if Sony says nothing or shows no gameplay from Last Guardian, the internet is going to explode.
Because
I watched the trailer for it. It just looks like it's a little kid and a giant wolf or something.
Because I remember when I was in elementary school, 4th or 5th grade.
Oh my god!
For Christmas, I got something or other, and it came with a subscription to Game Informer for 6 months, or maybe it was a whole year. I don't know. Yeah, it was probably a year. And I remember one of the Game Informer magazines extensively covering The Last Guardian.
But this was when we were in elementary school.
And this was when I was in 4th or 5th grade. Which, for reference, I'm in senior year right now, so that was 7 years ago. They're it was E3 2010 or what would that be?
That would have been 7 or 8.
Yeah, 2008. It was E3 2008. Last Guardian, and now they're still talking about The Last Guardian. It's how.
How much more is there to do?
I don't know, if the game got canceled and then revived, or just delayed a lot, or I don't know.
Well, it's it switched console generations.
Yeah,
so
and there have been so many different
And I'm even pretty sure that at this E3 they had no in-game footage.
It was just a trailer.
It was a trailer.
They're just like,
so
are they making this game?
So
is it just an animated movie?
Exactly.
Or
what
like,
do you actually
know.
have? And no one knows. But that's.
But I mean, it looks really.
Yeah, it's a game that everyone's been looking forward to you pointed out
since like elementary.
Yeah, for
2008.
And
they're
there's
still
been almost
not
nothing.
making the game. I don't know, but I mean, if they ever do make it, I definitely am very interested.
Yeah,
it looks like a really cool
if
game.
it ever happens.
Yeah,
how funny would that be? Like 2 years E3, they're like still showing a trailer, and then like
E3 2020. Yeah, sorry, we finally canceled the last
E3
Guardian.
2020. A guy just comes on stage and goes, "So, as you're all probably wondering, we have an announcement to make about Last Guardian." Everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's gonna come out." We canceled it.
You would probably get booed.
He just walks off stage at a press conference.
Yeah, that would the whole press conference is we canceled the last, and then E3 2021, Last Guardian's coming out January 2022.
Oh god,
it would.
It's like due to our company almost going bankrupt, the Last Guardian's coming out.
Finally, after
they pull a
12 after
they do a
they pull a
Half-Life
Valve.
3. Yeah, that's the joke I was making.
It's like Half-Life 3.
It's stuck in Valve time.
Like, yeah, man, we're gonna do it, and then they just never do it. It's like,
well, they didn't even finish Half-Life 2, didn't they, or something? It's like they made the game, then they made like the episodes
one
and
and
whatever.
episode 2. Yeah. No episode 3, no Half-Life 3.
Whatever.
It's still is Half-Life 3 in development?
I've read a lot of things that
it's like a conspiracy at this point.
Yeah,
it's like
I mean, how long was Team Fortress 2 in development? Like
that game came out in like 2007 though.
That game came out in like 2000. Yeah,
it came out when like the first Portal came out. Yeah,
and it was in development for like 10 years before that.
Team Fortress 2.
Yeah.
So was there a first Team Fortress?
Team Fortress
it was a mod.
Yeah,
wasn't
Team Fortress Classic.
It was just a mod for
really
Counter-Strike.
old.
Not Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike.
Yeah, probably.
No, it was.
Well, what?
It was a mod for. Was it
Half-Life.
Doom?
I don't know. It was one of.
It was like Doom or something.
No, I don't think it was a mod for Doom. Doom was
Quake
like
maybe.
Something.
I think it was a Quake mod.
Like half the like PC video games that everybody plays now are just based on mods.
Yeah. Counter-Strike was a mod.
Counter-Strike was
a mod. It started as a mod.
Half-Life.
Half-Life, I think.
Huh.
I think. I might be wrong.
But yeah, for Half-Life 3,
Dota, also a mod.
Rooster Teeth has their channel to know, and they've had several videos about Half-Life 3, and like it's pretty much like that's one of the ones that they have that's like not joking around. Like that is like their like actual like news report, and everything they've come out with has been like that. They've talked to people at Valve that's been like,
yeah, we're not working. Well, Valve said they like don't want to make games anymore. They just want to do Steam.
The first report was like they have like a 10-man team working on it, which in video games is like, essentially like you're not doing it.
Yeah.
And then a report came out that it was like, oh, the script is almost finished. And then another report came out like a little while later. It was like, they have literally no one working on it. Like nothing. Like things have changed. They just said we're not going to do it. Like they don't have anyone working on it. And
but
they
then
said,
Left 4 Dead 3.
I think it's like if they do like Half-Life and like Portal 3, I think it should be like a collaboration because they take place in like
they're the same. Portal and Half-Life
the games reference each other.
And Team Fortress
times.
is set in that same universe.
It is.
Team Fortress is set in like the 80s though.
Oh, so it's not. It's like the past.
Yeah,
then.
Yeah.
But it is the same universe.
Yeah.
Technically.
I like how mentioning The Last Guardian got us on all of this.
Yeah.
Valve
time.
Yeah. So then back to Sony's press conference. There's Horizon Zero Dawn.
Don't know.
I've heard of it, but
I don't know.
Resident Evil 7.
I don't know. Like,
hold on, you skipped the most important one. Detroit Becomes Human.
Detroit Becomes Human.
Well, I'm gonna click on this.
I heard it was. I looked that up when we were like looking at these E3 games before. It was like it's made by like the same people who made like Beyond Two Souls and stuff like that.
Detroit is in the state of a new industrial revolution in Detroit. Become Human, a game about life, human life, artificial life, and everything in between.
In between.
So, what is this? Okay, so this is like a really long article that's actually not telling you at all about it.
It just says it's a game.
This is the information.
It's a game.
Release TBA. Platforms, PlayStation 4. Developer, Quantic Dream. Publisher, Sony. That's it.
Detroit Becomes Human.
Yeah, so Detroit Becomes Human.
All right.
Yeah, well, Resident Evil 7, which they announced and then immediately had the playable demo for people. And I don't know if you watched any demo gameplay. Oh,
is it like actually scary again?
It looks scary. Like
it's not just like shooting.
Yeah, like again, I reference Achievement Hunter, Funhouse, Rooster Teeth a lot because it's really all I do. But so like Achievement Hunter did a Let's Watch in it, and I recommend that one because they just played through it the one time, I'm pretty sure, and it's like it's a 20 or so minute demo, and they play it actually they play it twice because there are several different like ways you can do it. So it's like it's like you're watching and like I had jump scares. I'm watching it. I've never played a Resident Evil game, but I've known they're spooky. And like I'm watching this and I was like, oh my gosh, like this looks like a good game, and it's just a demo. Like it's just this little 20-minute piece of information about a game, and it looks so good. Like I really enjoyed it. Why are you taking that from me?
All right, so then we've got
Farpoint?
Farpoint. I don't know. Battlefront. Woo! Battlefront. The X-wing thing.
Yeah, cool.
Batman. Virtual reality stuff. Wow.
And then
VR.
Spider-Man is not shovelware anymore, I guess.
Yeah. Really?
They have Spider-Man,
a good Spider-Man.
Well, we don't. No one really knows because all it was a trailer.
It was a trailer, but like people are saying it's gonna be like Spider-Man 2, like the actual good Spider-Man game.
But like there was really nothing like to the trailer. Like it was just kind of hey, there's this guy swinging around who's in a pretty cool costume and
Call of Duty.
Woo. Oh my God, Call of Duty. Okay,
more Call of Duty.
You have Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, which looks like complete trash.
Nobody's gonna everybody's gonna buy it, but nobody's gonna play it just because they want Modern Warfare.
Yeah, exactly. There's a Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered that's coming out with Infinite Warfare, and that is the only reason anyone's getting the game.
Infinite Warfare. Could you have a more like Call of Duty name?
Infinite Warfare. It's like we're going to make these games forever.
Like it's foreshadowing. It's Call of Duty Infinite Call of Duty.
Yeah.
There's how long has the Call of Duty series been around? Like
a long time.
It's been around at least 15 years.
Like so before there was even Modern Warfare, there was Call of Duty, Big Red one, and like Call of Duty.
The original Call of Duty. Did the original Call of Duty come out in like 2004?
It was something like that. It's been like 10, 15 years.
Long time. A lot of Call of Duty games.
Crash
Bandicoot Remastered, which is something everybody wanted
except me.
I've never played Crash Bandicoot.
That was a thing that the internet was like, we need it. And
Skylanders.
Give it to.
That was like Spyro, wasn't it?
I have a very big complaint about like games like that. That like you have to buy pieces that you can then use to play in the game. Why does that still happen? Like, Disney Infinity. I played the first one. And like I really liked it, and then I got the second one, and I played it a lot less because I didn't think it was as good. And now like
they just canceled it.
Yeah, they completely canceled it after the third one. But it's like those games are just such a scam, and like obviously I was younger when I played them, and I thought they were really fun.
Disney Infinity came out like 2015.
Yeah,
like that's what it feels like.
Skylanders has been around for a while, but like Disney
it feels
Infinity
like
like it feels like Disney Infinity just came out like last year, and then they're like, oh, there's 3 of them. And it's like, did they all come out at the same time?
They came out like a year after.
Yeah, because all they did, going from Disney Infinity 1 to 2, was they put out new characters and a new like little like thing that you put the characters on, and you can use any character from the first game on the second one's like disc for the players. But you can't put any of the second ones on the first one, and that's it. They had a different disc because there were like a few different things, but it's essentially the exact same game you just buy for different characters. So it's like, why do that? Why not just say, here's a DLC, here's all these new characters.
Just do DLC?
And and then like they made the third one, it's like Star Wars characters, and you're like, get out.
Yeah,
like this isn't interesting to me anymore. And then like Skylanders is still like pushing it hardcore, like, hey, we're gonna make all these new characters.
Like, do people actually play the Skylanders games?
The real question is, does anybody?
I think
care?
It's like a lot of.
I mean, like, is it? I mean, I feel like it's just like I have a lot of kids.
I have
I mean, like, there are people that like the Spyro series because Spyro's
a great series. Popular. That's a game I actually did play.
But then it's like, does anyone like? I guess only like do people that like do actual people. I don't consider children actual people.
Yeah.
Do actual people play Skylanders?
No.
I don't.
That's like
I don't know.
The only person I've actually talked to that's played Skylander is my cousin, and he was like 8 at the time. So according to Sean, no actual people
play Skylanders.
Yeah, and then you have
why like I mean I guess I don't have a problem with it. I guess it's just like
it's an easy way to make money for him, I guess. But it's like when you look at it, like, does anyone really care anymore? Is anyone still on board with that idea?
Like,
this is a good idea.
Why did they? It's like, I mean, I guess like that's something. If you like, since like Crash Bandicoot Remastered, there is like a Skylander thing. So I guess you should mention that. But then it's like Skylanders.
Yeah.
So
and then last two games are Lego Star Wars Force Awakens. Actually, I've also seen gameplay of that. Another achievement hunter thing. It looks like fun.
I mean,
it looks like an actual shooter.
Like the Lego Star Wars games, I thought they were. All the ones I played, I thought they were great.
And then after the Lego Star Wars games, they just like became the same game with different characters. But now it looks like they're actually trying to like change it. Yeah, like obviously, I kind of have a little bit of experience with Lego.
And Walker here has a lot of experience with Lego. We're currently in a room recording this with lots of Legos around.
But it's like I played a couple of the other ones other than Star Wars, but it's like these are just all the same. It's really boring. But with like the Force Awakens, it looks like they're actually trying new gameplay out.
Like it looks really good. Like I've always loved the
like what I like
Lego
about
games.
the Lego games is that like they take the series and they introduce like the Lego sense of humor to it.
Exactly.
Really,
what they
puts
realize
a new
is
spin on the
like,
game.
hey, this is a kid's game. So like obviously in Star Wars there's a lot of people that die.
Yeah,
but
like,
you really can't have time. So
just
the pieces fall apart.
And it's like then
there's
you
no
make it
penalty
funny.
for death in the game. Like someone kills you, you lose all your studs, but you immediately respawn, you pick them back up, and you keep going. Like, exactly. It's a super. It's a child-friendly game.
Very Lego.
Exactly. It's a child-friendly game, but that's also fun for like literally anybody.
Yeah.
Like I'm like almost 17 and I love playing the Lego games. Like they're all super fun.
Yeah.
And then the last one, Death Stranding.
Death Stranding, I've
literally never heard of anything about it. That's it. Unless we want to talk about
Nintendo.
Let's get
my god, Nintendo! I completely forgot about them. I wonder why.
Yeah, because how many games did they show? Like
2, and one of them was the only one they showed the whole time. Breath of the Wild.
I mean, I'm very okay with that. Breath of the Wild looks incredible.
They showed that the whole time, and it's like it completely deserved to be shown the whole time.
Yeah, seriously, look.
Breath of the Wild,
Pokemon,
and
Pokemon.
Every other one has had this huge list.
Like this long list. Nintendo 2 games.
Breath of the Wild and Sun and Moon.
And it's like,
you guys happy? And the thing was,
yes,
people were super happy.
Like, because it's like, well, first off, like they announced the game 3 years ago, and they've had no information about it.
Breath of the Wild. Yeah.
Like, and now,
well,
like
we didn't even know the name.
Yeah,
it was just Zelda NX.
And then they showed They showed it this time. It was like people were like, okay, and like first off, like, oh no, is like they've been working on it and it got delayed a bunch of times. Is it going to be good? They showed it all the times. Like everybody's like, yeah, this is going to be a good game.
It looks like if the gameplay, if the trailer is at all representative of the actual gameplay, which from the gameplay that I've saw,
it looks like it is going to be.
It's like an actual open world Zelda game.
Like if you go to a place that's cold, you have to put on warm clothes, or else you will lose health.
Yeah,
it's like
that's just it's like a because I mean like Zelda games have always been like pseudo RPGs.
Yeah, but it's like more. Yeah,
but like more. But they've always been like
you get money from cutting
linear.
down bushes, and now you can't do that. You have to. The only way to get money is to sell items.
Yeah, like they've always been like fairly linear games. Like with like different things that like different side quests and stuff that you can do, but they've still been like linear. You have to do this dungeon and this dungeon.
Now
I mean I may be like just
the dungeons are just like mini challenges. There are going to be a couple of main ones, but they're not
like a completely open RPG, like almost like Skyrim with Zelda.
It's like even Skyrim, you don't have to like change your clothes when you go to the mountains.
It looks really cool, and I'm really excited, and I hope that it's good because. It looks really cool.
It's like everybody is like Nintendo, this game is good, or else your company is gonna die.
Yeah,
kind of thing, basically.
I've never played a single Legend of Zelda game, so I have nothing to say here. I know I'm a filthy casual.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Pokemon Sun
and Moon. I mean,
it's Pokemon. And it looks good, but it's Pokemon.
Game.
Pokemon Go.
Oh yeah, that just came out yesterday.
Yesterday, as
have any of us actually played it? You okay?
Walker
I haven't.
What the heck, Chris?
Okay. This is gonna sound awful. I don't want to. I don't want to play it because I want to have a life. Like, I have a job now. I have like other personal duties I need to attend to. If I download that game, I'm not going to be alone.
Be the very best.
It's not that. It's honestly, it's cool, but it's not like the kind of thing that'll suck up all your time. It's like you're walking around. You like you walk around. You open the app. It's like, oh, there's a Pokemon there. You gotta like flick the Pokeball at it like paper, whatever that game was like.
Oh, I know exactly.
And that's
paper
like
toss.
Paper toss style, and that's
Facebook Messenger basketball. God, I hated that game.
What? I have no idea what you're talking
Facebook
about.
Messenger basketball game.
Nope, not a clue.
Do you have Facebook Messenger?
Yeah.
Basketball and Facebook Messenger?
Yeah, they've got a basketball.
I don't just
How do you
shut
not,
up. I don't know.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, whatever.
It's-
This podcast is kind of going a little long.
Well,
too.
I mean, yeah, that's like basically it.
Yeah, that's all the games.
That's like everything
we
that's
talk about.
that we've. So yeah, in closing, I'm really hyped for Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, same here.
I hope it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, real quick, the thing we didn't talk about with Microsoft, Xbox One S, and Project Scorpio.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about something different. It's like how the games that are coming out you can play on Xbox and PC now. Like you can
yeah. I completely forgot about that.
Pretty sure Microsoft is actually just trying to kill their console line.
Yeah, there's like.
I mean, yes and no, because they did technically announce 2 new consoles, while also saying, but you can also play an iPad, PC, and all connect to your Xbox. And blah, blah, blah.
So they're like they're slowly moving. I don't know.
They're either trying to branch out or downsize.
This is what Microsoft is doing. Okay, they're trying to take over the world. I mean, run
yeah.
Sony out of business.
That's
run
just a
Nintendo
given.
out of business. What should Nintendo's have doing themselves? Let's be honest here.
It's
Can Nintendo just like support professional Super Smash Bros. Melee already? That'd be great.
Well, I mean, they had that tournament last year, the huge Smash Brothers. No, that was 2 years ago. They had this invitational at E3.
Well, yeah, and then like they're starting to.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like the kind of thing they're just starting to get the internet and like modern times.
Yeah, like Nintendo
is the
like you've
internet
got like Microsoft and Sony and all the other companies, and they're like the hip young teenagers, and then Nintendo's like the old like 40-something guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's just like starting
son,
to
how
figure
do
out
you
this
use
technology
Facebook?
thing.
Yeah.
Nintendo is the Internet Explorer of the game industry.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
And it's like you kind of look at Nintendo. They're doing the same thing as Internet Explorer, where it's not Internet Explorer, it's Edge, and it's actually not completely terrible, I guess, anymore.
I don't know, man. There's something, but yeah. So
It's called Edge. How could it not be terrible?
yeah, true. But yeah, so then Microsoft has the 2 consoles coming out. The Xbox One Slim, which it's like 40% smaller. The power brick they moved inside, which I find funny because it's kind of them like saying, yeah, we know it's really, really annoying to have the power brick outside. We haven't done anything about it because we're lazy. Like, obviously, they could do it. They've done it very easily. And then Project Scorpio, all that you know is that it's called Project Scorpio. And that is it Scorpion? Scorpio?
I don't know. Because it's like the whole thing is like the NX is still Project NX, and they didn't talk about that at all.
Why didn't they talk about the NX at all?
Because I feel like they really want to like push Zelda because they kind of need to talk about that if it's going to be their like big game. For
also, like why has that been like a thing for the past Zelda games? It's like Twilight Princess and Skyward. I mean, like only Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, but now Breath of the Wild as well. They're releasing it on the current console
when they're about to make a new one.
Well, it's
console. They're making it on both.
Yeah, they're going to.
Okay. Breath of the Wild will be on Wii U and NX. And it's like, they did that for Twilight Princess, it was on GameCube and Wii, and they did it for Skyward Sword, it was on Wii and Wii U. Why?
Okay. No, Skyward Sword's not on Wii U. You can play Wii games on the Wii U, but
wait, Skyward Sword wasn't on the Wii? Wasn't it? I thought it was.
You can play the Wii games on the Wii U still. I've been actually just started replaying Skyward Sword recently. So
I thought Skyward Sword was on the Wii U.
No, they remade Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, but like...
Oh, okay. Alright, maybe I'm mistaken then. Maybe they only did it for Twilight Princess.
That's the only cross-platform one that I know of.
Oh, okay.
That's not like a remake or anything.
See, they had to make Link right-handed for
release. For Skyward Sword it makes sense because like you're using the motion controls, but Breath of the Wild is right-handed.
Wait, he's right-handed in Breath of the Wild?
Because it's like it doesn't. It's like no. But it's like the
gameplay
fact
I saw, he was left-handed.
He's right-handed in the game, but like it's like it doesn't really matter what hand he uses. But
why
it's
is
like
this a big thing?
But it's like the reason they get people asking like, why is he right-handed instead of left-handed? Because the buttons are on the right side of the controller. But it's like that for every game.
Yeah.
It's like it's a stupid argument with like I don't understand why it's a big deal.
No, but yeah, like the Wii version of Twilight Princess is just
they literally flipped the entire game. Like they mirrored the
version
whole game
because Link is left-handed. But in the GameCube version, because it's in the Wii version, because it's motion controls, Link is right-handed.
Like the sun rises in the west and sets in the east.
So they literally just took the game.
Yeah, they flipped the entire game
for the Wii port.
Do what you want, I guess.
I mean, yeah, but so yeah, that's.
Well, then there's also Linkle. Guys, how have we not talked about Linkle?
Because Hyrule Warriors is kind of irrelevant ever since it came out. It's honestly.
I mean, I heard Hyrule Warriors pretty good.
I don't like it that much, honestly. I have it, and it's just like.
I like okay, that. I like that Nintendo is like experimenting with the Zelda franchise because like Breath of the Wild, Hyrule Warriors, both of those.
They've got like a million Mario Kart spin-offs, but Zelda's just been like the same thing.
Yeah. like Zelda Skyward Sword was just a disappointment.
Well, I've been. That's like I said. I started replaying it recently, like because I remember liking it the first time, and so far it's the same. I like it. It's
from what I heard, it was.
It's not a bad game. It's just different from the other Zelda games, which is like I feel like a lot of the reason people don't like it. Oh well. But I think we're just kind of rambling on about Zelda at this point.
Right now
I have nothing to say anymore.
Yeah, Chris has never played Zelda.
So you guys are like, yeah, man, Zelda this, left hand, right hand. I'm like, what?
I just started replaying Wind Waker. So.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so yeah, that's.
I think that's about it. I guess for this.
That's all we have to say for this first episode.
Yeah. So that's been the first episode of I Can Explain.
Yeah. If thank you for listening.
If you did.
Yeah.
If
all
you did.
one of you. Probably
all one of
it's
you.
It's like we upload this. And it's like all the views are just gonna be us checking to see how many views it's got.
I mean, listen, guys.
I mean, you have to watch a certain percentage for it to count as a view.
So the most views I've ever gotten on a video is 2,000, and that was on a project I uploaded in 7th grade. So. If I still have those guys, we'll get at least 2,000.
I don't want to brag, but I've got 200,000. So
views? Walker A. Oh my God!
you have 200,000 like total.
No, on one video.
On one video.
I'm not going to talk about it because the video is awful. But
how do you have 200,000 views on a video?
I don't know because the video is terrible.
Dude, bro, I don't know. But 2,000 views. Yeah, it's a video. It's my 7th grade video project about how to take a handoff in football.
You told me
this was when I was.
We're gonna link this so everybody who's listening can embarrass Chris.
God.
Yeah.
My dad's in it, so please be kind to him. But it's like a 10-minute long video, maybe. Made it in 7th grade. I was like 5'2", and I sounded like a woman, and I kind of had like longer hair. 2,000 views. Yeah, pretty much. Like last I checked, I think it was actually at like just under 2,000. So it might not actually even be at 2,000. I'm just kind of been assuming. But yeah, and like there's a comment on it that's like, "This is a great video. I teach flag football, and I'm gonna use this with my kids. Thanks." And I like look at it, I'm like, literally, I made this in 7th grade because I needed points.
Dude, you helped someone out.
I helped someone learn how to take a
you know what?
Hopefully we can do this with this podcast someday if we ever get around to organizing again because it took us like 7 months to get it. Yeah.
Maybe catch us again in February.
Hopefully sooner than that this time.
Yeah.
So
that's that's it.
That's been it. Again, thanks for listening.
Yeah, this
we'll eventually do more and bye.
Bye.
Bye.